and I'm going to catch you digitally even on the eve of Christmas.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hello, friends. This is Chandrakant from Akulmach Technologies, and today is 22nd. We're just 3 days away from Christmas. And to celebrate my Christmas, let me invite my friend from UK, Mr. Naval Gun.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hello, CK. Couldn't resist that. Sorry, wearing a Santa hat. So, yes, 3 days away from Christmas Day. And as you probably heard, Christmas is cancelled.
Yes, Naval, I think we have been hearing a great deal about UK and the measures being taken there. And yesterday I heard on the TV that the list for people who will get vaccinated has been revised, and now the cutoff date is 75. Earlier it was 80. So I think lots is happening, and our best wishes for the everyone, not only for people from UK who are coming in the news quite a lot, but I'm sure it's a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, it is. And thank goodness the vaccine is here. Our applause goes out to all those people involved in developing the vaccine that's been approved in the UK so far, and all the other vaccines that are well on their way to being approved. So that's the good news. And yes, we heard as of yesterday, this vaccine needs to be given in 2 doses. So it's a double dose, 7 to 10 days apart approximately. And as of yesterday, 500,000 people in the UK had been vaccinated, which is an amazing feat when you appreciate we're not really set up in this country to do any type of testing or vaccination that has come this way. So again, my heart and applause goes out to all of those involved in it. Yes, there's been logistical issues, particularly this initial vaccine that has to be stored at some ridiculously low temperature. Um, and when it's distributed, it's only got like a 4 or 5 day shelf life. So the logistics around that are phenomenal. You know, we get flu jabs here each year, and it's like a methodical, like army approach, regimented approach. Um, but for this, we've had even more people vaccinated in a fairly short period of time. So, yep, it's really great news. It will continue into the new year. Hopefully, the second vaccine will be approved. That will be easier to distribute because it doesn't have this short shelf life that we've been told about, these low sub-zero temperatures that it has to be stored. So yeah, I think we're closing the year on a very happy note, despite the fact, sadly, for a lot of us in the UK and around the world, Christmas is cancelled. But let's talk about that because people that focus on Christmas being a one-day event, you know, the 25th of December, um, we've probably lost sight of the fact of what this symbolises to the Christian world and to many other people around the world. It's new birth, it's new life, it's new opportunity, and it's that magic of Christmas. I always talk about the magic of Christmas in July, frankly, um, because if you've got the magic of Christmas in July, you certainly have got the Christmas spirit. And it's that Christmas spirit of being kind, being grateful, being thankful, and just being a good human being. So there's nothing wrong with that. So let's just hope that Christmas isn't cancelled and we keep that magical, you know, mystical type um, historical character who, don't tell anybody, but doesn't really exist in the North Pole, but does exist somewhere, and it's in here. That's where it exists, in our heart. So anyway, what does India hear about? Because I'm always fascinated. Wherever you are in the world, you hear about what's happening elsewhere, but of course, you're only hearing what they want you to hear. you're only hearing a snippet of the news programs that we have here. I mean, news in the UK is 24/7 now. You know, BBC Channel has a regular news briefing, and it's on channel 601 on Virgin Media, and you can look at that any time of the day. And it's just instantaneous news, and it's rehashing everything that's been out there for the last 24 hours if there's no news, or it's given us the weather, which is always another interesting subject. So what's India hearing about what's happening in the UK?
They will, I think I can understand what is going on in the minds of people in the UK, because I think it's a new year, sort of a new year, and a lot of celebration. And as you put it rightly, it is the magic of Christmas. So I think the Indians, the non-Christian Indians, have also, gone through the similar feelings recently, because the similar celebration happened just 3 weeks back when we had to.
Yeah, Diwali. Yeah, absolutely.
It was a subdued Diwali, uh, but the good thing is that you can still celebrate Christmas, and it's not going to be a gala event, but you can have the magic of Christmas really experience at home. And I think you can use a lot of Zoom sessions to communicate with each other. So it's going to be a digital Christmas this year.
It is, and interesting enough, as of yesterday, I have 5 children between my wife and myself. I've got 3 children, 2 stepchildren. As far as we're concerned, they're all ours. So, and they're in different parts of London, as it happens. They're all fairly close to us, but they're so far away because even a couple of miles is you can't even go there. So we're going to have a karaoke Zoom event on Christmas Eve. So, rather than do the traditional watch the TV and then go to church for Christmas carols, we're going to do a Zoom event and have a. I don't know how we're going to do this, by the way. I mean, the kids have told me it's perfectly possible, so it's fine. We're going to have a Zoom karaoke evening, which should be hilarious. Let's hope they don't record it, but playing back in a year's time, who knows? So there's loads of things you can do. Just the physical fact you're not together, and that is difficult. I mean, I've got to reach out to everybody. It is difficult. We're humans. We do like a cuddle. We do like to embrace, and that's the way that we do share. So yeah, it's going to be different, but we just need to get on with it. Really, we
Yes,
can't change it. Just get on with it.
yeah, that's right. I think it's a different way of making sure that you celebrate, and there is not even iota of reduction in your celebration, but the medium of celebration is slightly different. It is digital now instead of physical. So going back to your question about what we've been hearing about UK. So firstly, I personally believe that the coronavirus is just fooling the mankind. It is erupts in some form of the other, some different strains coming out, and some are getting infected with those special strains, and we keep hearing them about them in the news. So I think coronavirus is here to stay, and if you look at the Darwin's theory, I think it will mutate, and even if you don't get it, you will get it in some form or the other. And the important thing is to work on the immunity. So what we've been hearing is predominantly the news, and the news is what they want us to know. So any government want to shield certain information and don't want to publicize too much. For instance, there was news of strange, I mean, we have heard this twice in last 2 weeks. Strange disease erupting in small pockets in India, killing few people and infecting 300. But beyond that, we have not heard anything beyond that. So we really don't know what is that is killing people, and that is not corona. So I think I would I would say that although we have been hearing a lot about UK, the lockdown and suspension of flight, sealing of border, but I'm sure this new strain will erupt even with all these measures in every part of the world.
I'm sure it will. We're I still there's still question of where this original coronavirus actually started. Will we ever know? Who knows? Really, it's for the scientists in the world to go and find out. Really, but I think I'm really grateful of where I live because um, despite all of the conversations that are going on, this new variant could have been hushed up in certain countries. Maybe it will have been hushed up, um, but the scientists saw a problem. They investigated the problem, and if we believe what the government are telling us, within 24 hours they made the decision and they locked down certain. They created a new tier, and Christmas uh, was going to be different to what it is now. It would have still been very different from previously. It would have been quite curtailed, only being able to have 3 households in a bubble, not 3 households on Christmas Day and then a different 3 households on Boxing Day and a different 3 households on Christmas Eve. It was 3 households as a bubble, which was going to be would have caused us huge difficulties because I have 5 children. Each of those children live in different areas. They're either in long-term relationships with a partner or they're living with flatmates. Some are doing both, and it's really difficult. I mean, that they would have said, you'd have to choose 3 children because they would have been 3 bubbles, the 3 different, or actually 2 children, because we would have been one of the bubbles. So you can pick your 2 favorite kids. Hello, give me a break. That's not going to happen. So, in some respects, it's a little easier for us. I did see a bit of a joke. Well, I hope it was a joke. Someone being interviewed yesterday. Um, I can't remember who the guy was, but he was quite outspoken. And the interviewer said, BBC interviewer said, "So, this lockdown for Christmas, what's it going to do for you?" And he said, "Oh, it's a bit of a result, really. I don't have to see the mother-in-law." So, now, he meant it in all seriousness and jokingly, but yeah, there'll be lots of those sort of jokes going around. The point is, it is going to be different. This new strain is quite different from normal variants. We're told normally there are 2 elements of a particular virus that's been affected. In this particular strain that's been found over the last few weeks, 23 elements have changed. But they've even identified it to the part of the protein that's changed. So when a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a bit hit and miss. They really don't know what they're doing," I've got to hand it to the scientists out there. For anyone to come up with a vaccine in this short period of time, not just one vaccine, but if we add up all of the vaccines in the world that are currently being tested and they are getting results, we're talking well into double figures, the numbers of vaccines that are out there. It's a very scientific approach. This is almost like a space type, NASA type approach to the problem that we've got. So we're not back in the sort of Florence Nightingale days where it was hit and miss or what happened. This is incredibly sophisticated. Some people call it genome project of of the decade. In fact, it'll probably be of the century, and it's actually finding out exactly how these molecules are made up and how they affect the majority of people. And they're not going to get this right, because there are going to be a few people that do have adverse symptoms. We've already heard that a couple of people that were initially injected had symptoms of rejection. They weren't as what everyone was claiming them to be, because they were like a couple of hours. And again, it was actually the NHS. It was two of nursing arena that had just a rejection of the injection. We see this all the time. One flu jab, I remember my whole arm just blew up overnight, but it went down the following day. It's just it's not going to be perfect for everybody, basically, because we are all different, despite the fact we like to think we're all the same.
So I think going back to the point that you made, Neville, is about I also feel very lucky that we are living in a democratic and liberal world where at least we hear of advancements and things that happen around us. But I imagine half of the world is living in either some sort of communism or dictatorship where people don't have any means to even know what is going on in the neighborhood. So I think I feel very lucky that we know and we can discuss openly things like these. And at the same time, when you get vaccination, there will be a side effect. Every vaccination, whatever you take today, even the kids, it comes with a bunch of warnings like swelling, fever, nausea, things like that. So I think it's associated with all kinds of vaccination. It's a general advisory that you will get the arm swollen up, or the area around which the vaccine has been applied will swell up a bit. You may have a fever for 1 or 2 days and so on. So I think coronavirus vaccine will be similar. Will come with similar sort of warnings. But most important thing is that the people in UK are getting it, and I feel also very good about it that the India has approved Pfizer one. They are going to start,
Oh, excellent! That's really good news.
yes, and they are going to start vaccination within few weeks from now. So they are preparing the list of the first recipient. And since India being such a large country, the first list comprised of 18 million people. So we don't have the knowledge of the date uh, when it will start, but surely it will start in a couple of weeks. The second vaccine which is coming up in India is something called Covaxin. It's an Indian-owned region, and that is going to be the second one that we will have as a second choice. So Pfizer one for the emergency cases, and then Covaxin will come in picture after 1 or 2 weeks of vaccination to start.
It's good news, and the homegrown vaccine just goes to give a lot of people in India the confidence that you've got some really brilliant people behind the scenes as well. I mean, that's one of the things that this particular pandemic has shown. We've got some fantastic people all the way around the world. No one country has got the monopoly on the best scientists. We've all got great scientists, and the other thing is they're all working together, which is what businesses really should take a leaf out of their copybook. Start working together. A number of times you and I talk about collaboration on our programs. It doesn't mean to say you're giving away your intellectual property or your competitive advantage, but 1 plus 1 is definitely greater than 2. Stop behaving 1 plus 1 is less than 1. Because that's really that for a mathematician, that's not what we want. We do want this R rate actually. In the business world, we want the R rate to improve. We want 1.4, we want 1.5, we want 2.5. We do want the excitement of being entrepreneurial, so that it feeds through, and it's like a positive virus that feeds through us all. And so next year will be better than last year, and even better than the year before.
Yes, and while we are grappling with this situation, I sincerely, feel that every one of us, like we are doing, Neville, to celebrate the digital Christmas and also the New Year. So I think going forward, there will be some social change. We will be more active digitally and celebrate digitally. And as you said, that you are going to participate in a family karaoke. So I think that's a good idea. There could be thousand other ideas, on the digital platform where people can start enjoying. And we would like to know more from other people. What are the other ideas by which they can celebrate a very good Christmas this year? So with that, we can end our discussion. And I'm sure a lot of people, whether vaccine or no vaccine, will celebrate Christmas this year, will bring the magic home. So with that, we can end our discussion today. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Neville.
Thank you very much, CK. Merry Christmas to everybody, and make it sparkle.
Ho, 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 ho.